Well, it looks like the markets are doing fairly well on the metals, and yeah, the Dow's still moving up. So if the Dow keeps moving up through July, that's the second longest bull run ever. The longest bull run ever, like as far as the number of months, would have been back in the 20s, and you know how that ended. Well, it doesn't take long for things, that go, when they go up, it takes a long time, but it doesn't take long for things to crash. Same with the metals, even more so with the metals, and they even crash harder. But we're already depressed on the metals. Now, I'm going to say one thing, I don't like mentioning with this guy, Lindsey Williams, much, but I do mention him sometimes because well, it depends on who I'm talking to, because some people realize to deal with him. But when Ken Fromm was alive, he was getting good information. Back then, in 2008, when Ken Fromm was alive, he was getting good information. But, there's one thing he said that made a lot of sense to me, because I realize how this works in the business world. And I'm not going to read verbatim like the banker's code, because I saw that. I was like, what the hell. It's about money, man. Anybody just they play games on the outside. Like Hillary Clinton says, the biggest influence in her life was the Bible. She just wants to get elected, so she'll say anything, right? Just same deal with people with money, right? Same deal. But, one thing supposedly the elite guy said, which totally makes sense, they're looking for to make the whole Middle East go up in flames, and basically it's part of a depopulation game. They got it in for the Muslims. And since I'm basically on the side of the Jews, I have no problem with that deal, man, because, I am. People don't want to get mad at that, but I'm going to tell you straight up, and you're thinking all the stuff that goes on in the world is all the Jews doing stuff, it ain't. It's really like a new age version of the neo-Nazis. That's what's going on. I don't know, people disagree with me like crazy on this. But, I read all the conspiracy theories, and I start putting things together, and I says, I know the deal now. It ain't the Jews. But, I have no problem with it, because some of the most religious extremists out there are the ones in Islam. But they're, like, ridiculous. But, I think the whole deal that's going on here with Iraq has actually been set up. I don't think it's just total blunders, because Obama doesn't really... that guy doesn't have a hands-on policy and intricate details of what's going on. It's a game. It's going to be like, oh, it's him. There's other people going on. The military's the ones that are planning stuff. It's not, and the Secretary of State under Hillary Clinton, who was in power for quite some time there. It ain't nothing to do with Obama really per se. Why all this crap? I know he's a weak leader. He's weak foreign policy. But I think the whole deal is planned. And actually, I think part of the plan is the real elite have it in for Israel too. They want to get Iran strong. They want to get them to have nuclear weapons, and they want a major war going on for two religions to really destroy each other. People disagree with me on this, but I'm not playing games on here where I'm trying to tell you stuff that you want to hear or regurgitate stuff from the other alternative media. I see another angle on this deal. The real elite are freaking devils all the way. And, just to give you an idea, I know Lindsey Williams, and I don't like mentioning this guy because I think he's not smart at all, but the thing he said that was told to him is that they want to actually cause the Middle East to go up in flames so bad that now that they're pretty much all set with domestic oil production, we're pretty much all energy independent, it'll cause the worldwide price of oil to go up, and that'll cause they'll just get more profits over here, because they can just charge way more money for the same amount of stuff they're doing. Costs won't go up, just what they can charge will go up, because what's going on in Iraq, or maybe even more revolution in Libya. It makes total sense. I can tell you this, I was at construction conferences that, they were talking about, what was that, Hurricane Katrina, and the guy was out there openly making speeches, laughing at that stuff, saying that, it was good for business, we needed more hurricanes. Because what will happen is the insurance companies pay for it, the government steps in, and we got more business. They were openly stating that in construction conferences. I mean, it's not really like, a real inside thing. There's a lot of people like that. I could say a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to. But I mean, I just told you one thing there, but that's how they think, man. They don't care. They don't care. People like with a lot of money like that, they put a big act on the front, because that's why they're always playing games where they're giving money to people, or they belong to these charities and things like that, and they're trying to make it sound like they're doing good for the community. It's a scam. It's just like Hillary Clinton says, the biggest influence in her life was reading the Bible. Oh boy, I don't know, man, because she knows if she can get torn up on a Christian vote big time, but man, they believe that, whatever. But anyway, I just want to point out some other things about silver too. First off, I'm telling you all this because that means oil's going to go up, and I always said oil's very much, when oil goes up, actually the correlation between oil and silver gets pretty tight when oil goes in a very high vertical bull run. That's when there's no really correlation between oil and silver otherwise, but when oil goes up like a rocket, that's when the correlation starts getting tighter, because that's usually when gold goes up, and you're seeing what's going on with the metals. Now, there's another thing. I know there's a lot of technology out there that says they can replace silver with nanotechnology, with carbon fiber. That may be in the future. And this is something to watch out for, because as, anything can get priced out of the market. I put this out on other videos, like, for instance, if you go in a store and you say, wow, it's a really good deal on a pair of running shoes, and you say double the price. You can say, wow, they're the best running shoes in the world, and what a bargain. At a particular price, say $55, and they're saying, wow, that's really cheap for really high quality running shoes. Well, just make it, $110. Is it worth it then? And you say, wow, maybe, but then make it $220. Is it worth it then? You say, no, I'm going to go with an alternative. And that's what happens with anything. That's what happens with anything. And with silver, though, there's some technology where, it's coming out where we know with the digital photography really clobbered the hell out of silver usage in, creating prints. But on the other hand, we have solar panels coming out. And even though they're getting cheaper, they're using less and less metals in them, but they all use some silver. And if we're going to have miles and miles and miles of solar farms out there, there's going to be a lot of major demand for silver, and that's going to be something that's actually going to come in more demand as the price of crude oil goes way up. So silver looks like a very good investment. Now, palladium, I think, is a very good investment for other reasons and other technologies out there because, well, the catalyst. But where palladium could get knocked down is if we start going to, well, it's not totally, because 65% of palladium is in vehicles, most of it in the catalyst. But if we start going to electric vehicles, the demand for palladium could get knocked down eventually. Like I said, I think these metals will super spike. That's what's going to happen. Now, there's one technology out there. I know they alleged about this garbage with LEN-R. It's low energy nuclear reactions, cold fusion garbage. I call it garbage because they've been talking about this for 8 million years. And if they have something, they're not going to let the public have it. I know originally it was supposed to be used with palladium, and I'm seeing, somebody pointed out this blog where a person had about palladium and LEN-R, and I'm saying, man, this is ancient freaking news. They were talking about palladium and LEN-R, I think, like 8 years ago. And then a few years ago, I think it was Andre Rossi in Italy, said, about having low energy nuclear reactions energy devices with nickel. And he supposedly had I saw the stuff, but it's never coming out. He supposedly said it was going to be all manufactured in Greece back 2 years ago, and every home in Europe was going to have its own little power station with this box that can produce all the electricity in the world that they need for a house. Every house would be independent. Now, maybe they do have this stuff, but it ain't getting out to the public. I'll guarantee you that. And, anytime I see a blog with donate Bitcoin and donate PayPal and send me love, I'm like, get out of here. Especially when they're rehashing some stories from like 7-8 years ago. Like trying to tell you that's some brand new information. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you, the angle I think is going on here is, the real elite, They got it. They got it in for the Muslims, and they got it in for Israel too. They got it in for both. Now, I'm gonna state it again. I am basically really on the side of Israel. You know, there's some things that I'll tell you what kind of annoys me sometimes, though, with not just Israel, but I don't know. I had this recent story of this guy. He's like 89 years old. They're going to put him on trial for being a gate guard in the SS, and it's some new story that came out. And he's 89, and I think when he was 18, he joined the SS. And he says he never took part in any killings. He was just a guard. And you know what I'm saying? You know, this is where I disagree with the Jewish community on this type of, or whoever the hell's pushing this, because I don't think it's like all the Jewish community goes for this. But I'll tell you what the biggest threat to Jews are, I think, is the ones that finance Nazis and the ones that are actually letting Iran get more nuclear weapons or build up their already existing nuclear arsenal, maybe that they already have in secret. Those are the ones you got to worry about. And actually, when you look at history back in World War II, there was major elements in the United States, and you know, it goes back to even Prescott Bush and all that kind of garbage, that were all in cahoots with the Nazis. You know, I mean, I look at this guy who was like a gate guard when he's 18. This guy, you know, what did he know? I mean, what did he know? I mean, yeah, he was in the SS or something. What did he know? I mean, he sees, you know, all this propaganda would serve your country. Here's a smart uniform with a couple lightning bolts. He thinks it's, wow, this is a great thing to do. He don't know. He just knows what he's told. He doesn't know anything. And I don't know, when they do that kind of stuff, it makes people mad at Jews, man. I'm thinking, man, that ain't cool. That ain't smart to do. I think that's bad publicity. But, you know, what's going on today is, I think, the real policymakers in the Middle East are allowing the Muslims to just get, you know, kill each other off as much as possible, but at the same time get stronger and unite. And there's going to be, what's going to happen in the future is going to be a major conflict between Israel and the Islamic world. And they're both going to clobber each other. And the ones that are actually benefited by this are the real Satanists. I think that's what's going on, man. You know, Lindsey Williams don't tell you that. I'm telling you that. That's what I think is going on. I can read these guys left and right. They're easy to read. You know, just like Hillary. She's so full of it. But I don't know. I think she's got the votes, to tell you the truth. I think she's got the votes big time. You know, unless the Republicans or somebody or an independent party puts out something where she was defending the guy that was a rapist of a 12-year-old girl and she laughs about it. If they put that, they won't play that kind of hardball, though. They won't do that. They see, all these politicians are a bunch of wimps. They got to be doing stuff like that, and then a lot of people be waking up. Man, this lady's like the Wicked Witch of the West. But, you know, if you look into her stuff, you know, with how she decorates her Christmas tree, it's all, she puts all these occult freaking decorations all over the tree, man. She's a witch, man. I don't know. But I can't convince people. Like, well, they got to do is they got to have enough advertising out there. Because advertising just makes people bite. You know, that's why they got YouTube videos, advertising. Advertising works, man. You got effective advertising, it works. It does, man. It does. It makes people bite. It makes the world go around. But that works that way with politics too. But you know, with Hillary, if she ever gets in, man, I think we're freaking. You know, the economy's going to suffer in the aggregate, big time, including everybody. I mean, you know, just even the elite in long term will suffer. Even long term, they'll suffer, because it's like they're going to be the elite of, you know, a non-producing, non-effective, very low-class people that are all dumbed down because that's what they're trying to do to stay on top. It's not even going to help them. It's not even going to help them. But you know, that's how they are. They're devils. They're devils. They're spiteful people. They got to be on top, no matter what, and that's just how they think. A lot of people are like that, though, to tell you the truth, even in different stratas of society. But that's what the deal is with the elite. They got to be on top, even if, say, somebody, if they weren't on top and they were second position and somebody else was on top, and it meant that even in their second position, they would have more. They wouldn't even want it that way. They just got to be on top. They're just idiots. It's just how they are, man. But just want to say this about the silver deal. I've been saying this over and over and over again. I say that it's going to keep going up. It's going to start taking off, I think, pretty fast and pretty hard. If I see this thing solidly bust, because remember in 2010, 2011, it didn't take long for it to bust all the way from $17 all the way up to 47, and it could do that very easily from where it is and bust through 50. If it busts through 50, which is a lot of resistance, it can easily go to 60 to maybe even 70, 75 or something, but quite a bit above 50. And I think I'm saying is around sometime in mid-2015 it's going to come back down. But if it does not go up very fast, like really soon from here, I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I have a suspicion that's how it's going to do. It's going to take off like a rocket pretty damn soon. And I've been expecting this for a while. I've been expecting it back in 2013 because I was thinking the waves are every 3 years. But, it's tipping me off that the next financial crash is, the middle of the next financial crash is September 2015. There's all these predictions about the 4 blood moons, the red cow that got born over in Israel. I don't know, that could have been a genetic experiment and the elite are playing games. There's also the 7-year cycle on the Jewish calendar. Now, I'm not saying it from the religious aspect. I'm saying that I think the elite make things happen according to the religious aspect and astrological things because they believe it gives them more power, and it also keeps people in line. So I'm expecting the next financial crisis, the middle of it, to be in September 2015. But, things can be going up, up, up with everything across the board well into 2015. Because it only takes like a day and then it crashes. It doesn't take that long. I mean, you look what happened in, with the price of oil back in July 1st, I think 2008, it was 147 a barrel. And I think it was like 4 months later, it was like, maybe I'm not, say it's between 4 and 6 months later, it reached as low as $35 a barrel. I mean, it fell right off the cliff. It's the same thing could be happening with the Dow, the metals, everything, all that stuff. They're not going to happen in unison, but I'm expecting that's going to be the deal. That's going to be the deal. And when this happens, the next build-up for the metals is going to be really super high. We're going to have a lot of high inflation in the United States because if there's a major crash, say again, that's bigger than the 2008 crash or 2009 crash, it's basically in that period, and it happens in say mid or late 2015, they're going to really put the stimulus out a lot, and then it's going to actually, I think the money's going to actually get into the economy. We're going to have rampant inflation, and that's where you might see your silver go, say late 2017 or 2018, go all the way up to like way over 100, and it could even spike way more than that. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but that's how I'm seeing things in waves. But anyway, the elite are devils, and the elite they don't really belong to a religion, man. They're Satanists, okay? I mean Luciferian Satanists. Not even the kind that are just kind of like, ho-hum Satanists, I mean a real bad kind, you know what I mean? The Luciferian Satanists. That's what the elite really are. They're not Jewish, man. I mean, they could be born from anything. They could have been born originally Christian or whatever. I mean, I think Hillary Clinton's a Luciferian Satanist for real. I think she is. But she's got the votes, and I'm like, man, I don't know, man. People better wake up to this deal because they don't give a damn about anybody else except themselves. She's vicious, man. She's vicious. So anyway, that's my quote-unquote silver update. But I'm telling you, I think I'm dropping more dimes more accurately than a lot of other people, and I sometimes I don't even want to put these out here because I think I'm being a little bit too accurate with this stuff. The elite don't give a shit about nothing, and actually, this whole deal, I think, with Iran and Iraq, I think it's all planned. It's not all you know, the conservatives are going to say it's Obama, but what's going on is, all this is planned in the military, man, a long time ago. They know what's going on. I mean, these guys got satellites and stuff, and you know, people looking at, analysts looking at stuff, and they got people on the ground, and they got other spies on the ground. They knew this was coming up. Part of it is they want to get rid of a lot of Muslims by internal strife. And then the other part of it is they want to build up one big radical Muslim world. So they're going to have a big battle between Israel and the Muslim world, and they're going to destroy each other. That's the game of the Luciferian Satanists. It's not hard to figure, man. I mean, I don't even call it theoretical because it's obvious as all hell. Anyway, over and out.